We're back. We brought a special assistant with us this time. This is our youngest vanilla extract maker in our home. Sam, you want to say hi?
I'm Sam. I'm the photographer and YouTube supervisor of VanillaPura.
That's right. Sam makes sure that we look good online, and he's already doing a great job because we did not start this video sideways. And so we could finish this video right now and this party would be done and we'd be like, that was so much better than the first party because we started upright. So Sam, thanks for being here. Yep. You're going to take some pictures for us behind the scenes.
Yep.
Come back and say hey. All right. Way to go, Mr. Sam. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to our kitchen. It feels like our last video was just yesterday. It's amazing how fast time flies, but here we are again. We've grown by like 4,000 members since the last time. So to all of you that are joining us for the first time live, welcome. Welcome to our home here in Utah. Welcome to our second ever vanilla extract making party. We have a lot of really fun things that we're going to talk about.
We do.
And we're going to jump in and hopefully together we'll all learn a lot of really fun and new things. We'd also like to give a special shout out to Starlet. Starlet is our guest moderator today. So Starlet, hello, thank you very much for jumping in and helping and being our moderator and helping to post links and make sure everyone has access to information. We really appreciate it, Starlet. Starlet is just absolutely wonderful.
She really is.
Starlet. We're all trying to be like Starlet. So welcome, we're glad to get started. So we have a couple of things that we want to do.
Oh wait, look at all these people we have
Oh my
here.
gosh, who do we have? We've got Florida, Huntsville, Ontario, hello up north. Wyoming, nearby,
Yeah.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Southeast Ohio,
Oh, Jack,
Ontario.
hi Jack.
We have so many friends up north. We love it. It's so glad to have you here. We're so glad to have you here as well. Others from Ontario. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes,
we love
Starlet.
Starlet.
We love Starlet, Mickey. You're spot on. So, welcome.
Hi,
It's so
Paul.
glad. Oh, we want to give a Paul Gingrich of the Gingrich. Paul's here. Good to see you, Paul. We wanted to give a special shout out as well to Paul Letterman. Paul posted a picture with him and his son. And I think, Paul, your son is probably the youngest extract maker in our audience today. So everybody give a big virtual hug and a hello and a warm welcome to Paul's son. That was fun to see the picture, and we're glad to have you with us as well, Paul.
It's fun to see how we extract. I've been talking to a lot of people lately, and some people do it with their sisters and their granddaughters and their spouses. It's more fun to do with someone else, and that's why we wanted to do this party, because it's just so much fun to be with other people while we do this.
Well, that's how it started. The VanillaPura story began, as we said before, right here in this kitchen. It was Jill and her friends, and they were making extracts, and they were just having a blast. And you listened to it, and we said, well, there's something special about that moment that was created. And sure enough, there's 20,000+ of you that also feel like it's special, and we're just glad to be part of it. So, shall we jump in? We've got a number of things that we're going to get through in our little party here that we're really excited about. First thing we're going to do is announce our winner of free beans for kind words. Then we're going to review all of the extracts that we made in the last video. If you haven't seen the last video, it's in our Facebook group. It's also on YouTube now. Just search for VanillaPura on YouTube. You'll see the video there. We are going to do taste testing, and we're going to use the Shannon Adams method that she shared with us some time ago, and it has something to do with milk and a shot glass, and that's kind of fun. And so we're going to do some taste testings. We're going to talk about mother jars, why we have mother jars, why we need mother jars. This is we're introducing you to our mother jar, and then we're going to end by giving out our free bean winner for hitting and exceeding 21,500 members.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
It's grown so very fast.
It's grown super fast, and I think the highlight of the growth has been that even with the growth, how positive our group has remained. You are the kindest group of people on Facebook, and when we set out to start the group, it was about extract making. It just became by itself, because of who you are, this sort of center for kindness and for helping people and for teaching people and for learning. So we say that in every video, but we have to. Our group is kind and nice, and there's good people in our group that really help others, and we love just watching it from the outside looking in as much as all of you. It's our favorite group on Facebook. So Without further ado, let's give away some free beans as we get started. Our free beans for kind words winner, you all know how that works. You saw the post in our group. You can only win if you were nominated by someone for being kind in another post. And the winner this time is Erica Fetzko. Congratulations, Erica. We are so glad to have you in our group, Erica. She has been a member since January 24th. If you look at her profile, you'll see like a little coffee cup next to it. We've activated these little icons and badges so you can see the person that you're talking to, what kind of contributor they are. Erica is a conversation starter. And currently, we have 96 members of our group that carry that badge of conversation starter, which means she posts really good, engaging posts that get a lot of people involved in helping. So Erica, thank you for that. Congratulations. You were nominated by Jessica Schlott. So we got to thank Jessica.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know if you guys know each other, or I assume that you had some interaction, but congratulations, Erica. Jessica, thank you for entering the nomination. In the list of nominations, we also just want to call out this one person because she's special. She already has free beans on the way to her place for winning another contest. It's Lori J. Bain. Lori, I'm sure many of you have seen her. She's commenting on everyone's post. She has the most engaging and fun posts. She asks lots of great questions. She's really just relevant to where a lot of you are at in your extract making journey. And we just love watching Lori's posts, don't we?
I want to know where Lori is because she just posted these beautiful photos of a beautiful spring day with flowers and green grass, and we don't have any flowers or green grass here.
Oh my gosh, Lori, I don't know where you're at, but that picture that you posted this morning of the spirits that you used in your garden, like Eden, wherever it is, can we come? Like it looks like the perfect spring morning, Lori, where you're at. Yeah. But we just wanted to thank Lori again. She's already got free beans on the way, but thank you for your contribution. You had a ton of nominations, and so we just wanted to call that out and give Lori a special thanks. And of course, Starlet, always lots of nominations for Starlet. She is. We're going to review her extract here. We're just so fortunate to have Starlet in our group, and all of the originals that, Carol and Therese and Paul Gingrich and Ramon. I mean, all these people that we're talking about still today that have been with us from the very beginning. Thank you. Thank you. So, how about we jump in? It's party time. Let's party! Extract party time. So, it's like a science experiment, right? We made all these extracts last time we were together. We put them in a cool, dark place. We have not touched them.
We haven't.
So we're going to do this with you. We really haven't. We have not touched these extracts. They have been unshaken, unstirred, just sitting in the cool, dark place, waiting for this party. So we are all going to experience this. We didn't want to experience it on our own without all of you. So we're all going to experience this for the first time together. So let's review them all.
Okay.
So kind of a quick recap of what we did last time. This first one, who is this?
This is the Gingrich. This is Paul Gingrich's recipe. His recipe, this actually isn't the exact recipe. He used Maker's Mark bourbon with Madagascar beans, but he used the sous vide method. We don't have a sous vide method, but the wonderful thing about this is he has posted exactly how to do this on our extracting. On our
extract making blog. Like Paul, he sent in his extract and he was awesome to take pictures because he knew that we did not have a sous vide. We need to get a sous vide so we can try this one out. But he's got it all pictured on, if you go to recipes, or if you go to blogs, you'll see we have one called Extract Recipes. The Gingrich is a fan favorite that talks about that.
And he has pictures for each step. You got to see it. It's great. Thank you, Paul, for posting all of that. We appreciate it.
So our Gingrich is really just Maker's Mark with Madagascar beans, and it has been sitting for a month.
Yep.
Because it's Maker's Mark, you see it's really, I'm just going to hold up to the light right here. It's really dark because it uses bourbon. You can see the beans in there. It has begun extracting. After like a week, you could see those white, kind of flaky things that were popping off the vanillin. Now they're gone, and now it's just like this amber extract that is extracting away with Maker's Mark and Madagascar. The next one.
The next one is the Ramona.
The Ramona.
So Ramona loves
Buffalo Trace bourbon. Yeah. You are synonymous with Buffalo Trace, Ramona, forever.
We'll never think of it without you ever again.
We look at it now. Now we just call it the Ramona bourbon. I don't even know who Buffalo Trace is. It's the Ramona bourbon.
We anyways, she also uses Madagascar beans, and it's coming along nicely as well.
Yep, it's again in the bourbon, so it's a little darker. You can kind of, if I hold it up to the light behind it, you can kind of see it's that amber color. It's still more bourbon than bean. So if we were to crack it open and smell it, really what you'd smell is mostly bourbon,
Mostly
a little
alcohol.
bit of vanilla bean.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Now a sciencey part that we're really excited about. These next two.
These next two. This is the Therese, and this is the Wheel of Fortune. Therese is with whole beans. We did not cut these beans at all. We just
put
took
them
them
right in the
out.
bottle.
We took them out of the package and we put them directly into the bottle as they were. And we added Grey Goose vodka. And that's all we did here with the Therese. Very classic. This is where we start. Everyone loves the Madagascar with the vodka.
The nice thing about this bottle, it's the 16-ounce bottle, and so the beans all fit in there. So we put them in whole, and you remember, we're not going to go into it this time, but all the discussion of do you slice it or do you leave them whole, we left this one whole for our experiment, and there's a lot of benefits to leaving them whole.
I want to just show you a picture a little bit closer. Hopefully you can kind of see.
Let that daylight kind of shine through.
See the beans.
Maybe
How
turn it
beautiful are
sideways
those?
so the label's not there. There you go. So the beans are beautiful. And that is, we're about 5 weeks from our last video. So that's about 5 weeks of extracting.
Yep.
Now, we look at the Therese, right?
This is the Therese.
Or excuse me, okay, I thought this was Carol's Willa's Fortune. This is the Therese. Now we go to Willa's Fortune.
Carol Stormers.
This is Carol Stormers, named after her mom. It's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
So let's look at that one.
This is with Madagascar beans and Kettle One vodka. So both of these are with vodka and both of them are with Madagascar. This one has whole beans. This one has beans that we sliced and cut. Why do we do that?
So here's what we did, just as a quick recap from last time. By slicing and cutting, what we've seen is that the extract can, in our experience, it extracts just a little bit faster because you open them up. And so if you look at this one and you compare it, why don't you hold both of them up? And you compare it, what we're seeing is the one that has been sliced is a little bit darker than the one that has been left whole. And that's consistent with our experience, is typically if you're trying to make it a little faster, like right now it's March, and a lot of you are wondering if your extracts are going to be done by Christmas. And maybe at Christmas time and you start doing the holiday baking, you cheat, maybe you crack open the extract a little sooner. The likelihood of your extract being ready for the holidays, it's going to be a little bit greater if you slice it, in our experience, than if you leave it whole. But it's, as we talked about last time, and you can look at our other video, it's harder to use the beans for other purposes if you slice them, other than really in the mother jar. But that's the benefit. So for those of you that are trying to, get everything ready, and you still are hoping maybe you can use it for holidays, maybe it'll be ready, it'll be close, but maybe it'll be ready for the holidays if you slice your beans.
Maybe.
Up to you.
Yeah.
But we always recommend just, be patient, wait for that year mark, because it's always best after the year anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
Okay.
are we ready? Oh, let's see, are there any questions? That's how I have done my first bottle in November. Grey Goose and Madagascar, said Shannon Brown. Therese, thank you. Debbie, hello. Okay, very good. So let's move on now to the main event. This is something we're super excited about. So, do you want to give the background here? Or do you want me to give the background here?
I will collect all of the items we need. Why don't you get going?
There you go.
Yep.
So, as all of you recall, this is the Starlet. Starlet introduced us to a whole new level of extract making. We knew that you could, mix your beans. You could mix like an Indonesian or a Madagascar to have like a creamy and a smoky, or a Mexican with like a Tongan, and then you have kind of like a spicy cocoa with maybe a little bit of a fruity hint. But Starlet started experimenting with cocoa nibs and coffee beans and all sorts of other wonderful things. So this is the Starlet that we made last time. It is a 16-ounce bottle. It has Bacardi Gold rum, so it's rich, warm, and sweet. It has 2 ounces of, 1 ounce is Indonesian, 1 ounce is Madagascar vanilla beans. So this is like PhD level extracting. And then we put in 1 cup of coffee beans.
It smelled so wonderful.
Yes, the coffee beans, just by themselves, smelled amazing.
With the vanilla, it was just, you can tell it's going to be wonderful.
It's when we were putting it all in. Yep. And so we're going to crack this open. And what we're going to do now is the coffee beans have been in for quite a while, 5 weeks. The coffee beans should overpower the vanilla beans, and let's make sure that that is the case. I believe that it is. Oh my gosh, it's still pretty amazing. So one of the first things that I smell is a really strong coffee scent, like we thought we would, and the alcohol is still pretty strong. In fact, vanilla is probably the thing I smell the least as I'm doing this.
And that's the reason why you only leave the coffee beans in for a month.
That's exactly the reason. So we're gonna, and we're like 1 week late. So we're gonna pull those coffee beans out, and then we're going to replace them with our cocoa nibs to add the chocolate part of the mocha. And then we're gonna close it back up for another month. So to do that, it's very simple. What we do is we take a strainer and a measuring cup, and we actually practiced with a other run just to make sure we had this down correctly. We're gonna do it a little bit at an angle here so I can pour it through. And we're gonna dump all of that extract out. And you'll see we used a bottle that was fairly wide on top. And the reason we did that is just for this reason. We wanted to make sure with all of the different ingredients that were going in, we wanted to make sure that we could easily get them out. And so we used a wide opening bottle. We'll set those down now. And now what we've got to do, and we washed our hands right before we started, we take all of our beans, and Starlet, this is another one of her tricks. She ties the beans in a knot so that they stay submerged. So if the alcohol evaporates, comes down a little bit, whatever it is, they make sure that the beans are all whole.
Do you still have the caviar?
And so you still have the caviar, and then you've just tied that little knot that you can see there to make the beans short. So we're just gonna put those vanilla beans in. There we go. And then we are going to take the coffee beans, and we're just gonna put them in the garbage. Now Starlet probably right now is like, don't throw those away. I bet there's a use.
Yeah, definitely.
And Starlet, you'll have to let us know what that is, but I bet there's a use, and we just haven't figured it out yet. So now, with the coffee beans out, we've got our original vanilla beans. Now we're gonna add the cocoa nibs.
You want to talk a little bit
Let's
about
talk about cocoa
nibs?
nibs. So we got these at Whole Foods. I showed them last time. They're Peruvian cocoa nibs. You can buy them. I think these were like $12 for 10 ounces, $12, $13. They were on sale. So there they are. So we went and picked them up.
And this is what they actually look like up close.
So when you look at a cocoa bean, they actually grow in a fruit. You have to crack open the fruit. Inside, you've got these big almond-sized beans that have to be harvested outside of this sort of white covering. It almost looks like garlic. You roast them, and then you grind them, and then you have the pure cocoa nib. So this is pre-measured for a cup, is that correct?
Cup, yeah.
So we are going to go ahead and just put that in. I'm going to use my hand to kind of hold it. And we're going to fill, in fact, you probably just dump it.
Well, I don't know
You think?
about that.
Maybe not. Maybe that opening's too big.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just
Oh.
keep, he's good at talking, just keep talking.
I'm the talking head in the family.
He really is the talker.
And so we're just going to drop these in. And by the way, they smell absolutely amazing. Like rich, real, pure cocoa to add to the vanilla. So
And the coffee.
Oh,
that coffee smell with the chocolate.
Yeah, it smells wonderful. So we're going to fill quite a bit of this.
We're almost there.
Almost there. And then we may have, as I'm looking at this, it's going to be very interesting where, again, this is the first time we've done this. We'll see how much room we have. We may need a bigger bottle. See, so we're making mistakes with you if that's the case. Let's see how it all fills in. Do you need the funnel?
Oh, yeah, that might be helpful.
Let's use a funnel. Oh, you've got it already. So we're going to start filling it all in. Oh, this absolutely looks amazing. Okay. So stop there, stop.
Yep.
Yep. So we are, boy, it's really shy, but we are just a little bit shy. So we overfilled the first time, and now we filled it all the way to the top. We have just a little bit left over. We're going to go ahead and cap this, and maybe we'll put it in another jar a little bigger, but I think we'll have to figure out a use for that.
We get a lot of emails and questions on what happens when I put all my beans in. Aren't I going to displace all of my alcohol? Right? We get tons of emails about that. This is exactly what happens. So, and you know, there's so little here that I think we're going to be fine. But if there were more,
we'd take maybe a smaller bottle and fill it up as well and try to get the most use out of it. But in this case, you can see now The cocoa nibs are in there. The alcohol itself is full of the coffee taste because it's the same alcohol the coffee beans were in. And now we're going to let that just sit and marinate for another month. And we're going to come back a month from now. We're going to take all those cocoa nibs out, and the cocoa nibs, and then we're going to finalize the extract.
And then the extract will just sit for another 10 months.
Another 10 months.
And then we'll be ready to try
and
it.
Because it's going to be really close to Christmas that this one is ready, and we might just have to cheat a little bit and try. And Starlet, maybe we just need to have you come out and you can teach us how to properly cook with this extract. That's what we need to do.
Oh, I just think you could just, oh my goodness, do so much with that.
Absolutely.
Milk and chocolate?
So there we go. So there's the update from our last party. We're going to keep watching these, and we'll do a quick update on these so we can all watch them kind of extract and grow together. We didn't open and smell them all because they're all going to smell more like alcohol than beans. And you know, in about 6 months, we'll start opening them, smelling them, and talking about whether or not they're progressing the way that we would like. Okay? So let's talk about now, when your extracts are done, what do you do next? It's time to actually use your extracts, you think. So we have one of our extracts. This has been down in our basement, in our storage area, for 18 months. We made this extract in, well, is it 18 months? It was August of 2019. Or 2020, excuse me. No, 2019.
No, 2019, yeah.
So August of 2019, and it's ready to go. It's a bourbon extract, so that's why we let it go longer than 1 year. Typically, bourbon's a stronger alcohol. It takes just a little bit longer for the vanilla to overpower the bourbon. So we let bourbon wait just a little bit longer before we start using it. So this one is about 1.5 years old. Now, we've used bourbons after a year that are also good, but we like to wait a little longer because we've done it so many times, we're just kind of figuring out what we like, right?
Yeah.
So it's time where you think that the extract is done, so it's time to go through how do you taste test it, and how do you know that your vanilla extract is ready? And that's tricky sometimes, especially if it's your first time. So there's a few ways that we do this, right?
Oh, 1 second. Somebody wants to know, do we shake them while they're aging? We actually don't.
We don't.
And I'm not sure about Starlet's because she has a lot more things in here. We may have to shake this one. But the regular ones, we actually don't. It's too much to remember, to tell you the truth.
We have so many extracts that we have going on.
But lots of people do shake them.
Lots do, and there is some belief that if you go in and shake it every couple of weeks, maybe it'll be ready faster. I think maybe it will. Maybe it helps kind of expedite the release of the vanillin. It's a chemical activity that's happening, so whether shaking really makes that much of a difference, I don't know. Agitating, there's logic that says maybe it would. We never do. Our experience is we kind of set it and forget it. And so this has been in our basement. It has dust on the cap. We haven't touched this in 18 months. It's just been sitting kind of on that back shelf, totally left alone. Today's the first time it is seeing our kitchen since August of 2019. So it should be ready. We think it's ready. We want to now convert it into an extract that is not sitting in our basement, but one that we get to use every single day. So, go ahead.
She did say,
Starlet
I saw
shakes.
the note, she does shake it. So there's a lot more in here, so we'll have to remember to do that. Thank you, Starlet, for letting us know.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to do taste testing, okay? We are going to recommend the Shannon Adams method because Shannon Adams is awesome, and she has made a ton of extract, and she introduced this to us. We had never heard of it before, so we're excited to show you the Shannon Adams method. We're going to show you first, though, the Paul and Jill method. This is how scientific we are. We simply do this.
Well, first you look.
First,
how does it look?
Yes, first visual. Look at it. It looks good. It just looks good. It's dark, rich, amber. It's not the artificial stuff that you buy at the grocery store where it's like black. You know, you don't get a lot of black. This is light color, amber. You can see through it, but it's really, really dark, which we like. So first you look. Then,
Smell.
and I'm going to create a real debate as soon as I do this, because I'm going to pull this open, and I'm using a cork. And I know there's a lot of cork debate, and we're going to come back to corks and why I use a cork on this particular bottle in just a minute. But I pull the cork out, smell the cork. What do I smell first? I smell vanilla. Vanilla's the dominant scent, and then right behind the vanilla, you can smell the smokiness of the bourbon. That's why we use bourbon. We wanted a vanilla that had a smoky scent, right? So the vanilla first, and then the bourbon. So it smells wonderful, okay? Now, this is the Fulton method, Paul and Jill method of taste testing. Little finger, kind of dip the bottle a little bit, put some on my finger. It's wonderful. Like, we've tasted enough of them where I can get that vanilla. You taste that first, again, and the bourbon is just like an afterthought. It's hardly there other than just a little bit of smokiness. And for us, with as many as we've done, that is a wonderful Madagascar bourbon. We use Woodford Reserve. That is a wonderful extract. So we are excited to put this one into use.
Yep.
So now you've decided you've got this extract, you just pulled it out of storage, it's ready to use. Now what? Right? Like, I had made these, I didn't think I was going to use them. Now it's time to use them. And so how do we use them? Let's talk about that. So the concern number one, as soon as you start using them, the alcohol level starts coming down, right? And as soon as the alcohol level comes down, what do you get? Exposed beans. And so that gets everyone really concerned. We've seen lots of posts online where people have exposed beans and they say that they mold. Now, in fact, we got to show them. Let's show them the
Sure.
Indonesian extract that we use. So we have never, in all of our years of doing extract, this is one that we're using.
That's the one I keep on my counter that goes into just about everything on a daily basis, and it doesn't last very long.
It's about a month and a half, maybe
but
2 months we get out of it.
There's only about 2 inches of it left.
Yep, and so this is our Indonesian rum, so it's extra sweet. We left the beans in there so it just keeps extracting. We've never had a mold problem. Now, we live in Utah. It's really dry in Utah.
It's so dry here.
Maybe that's why, but we've always just kind of let it stay in there and then, refill it for use or put it in our mother jar when we're done. But we've never had that problem. We have seen online where people have.
Yes.
So you certainly don't want your beans to get ruined. And so we're always erring on the side of caution just to make sure you get all the use out of your beans that you want. So we want to use this. We want to get rid of the vanilla beans before we start using it. So we take, again, our strainer. We've got our measuring cup. Exact same thing as we did with the Starlet. I'm just going to pour all that extract out. Now let me talk about this bottle here for just a minute, and I'll tell you why. We like this bottle. I like this bottle. It has an open neck, very similar to a wine bottle, and so it's easy to get the beans in, and it's relatively easy to get the beans out. Now that I said that, I bet these beans are never coming out, right? But you kind of shake it like an old ketchup bottle, and the beans just kind of start falling out, and they're done. So it's that easy. These beans were split, so my beans are now out. I have my bottle left. Now, if you look inside the bottle, you'll see, and I always try to hold up to the light, you'll see all of that beautiful caviar. Some people don't like the caviar in their extract. Most people, I think, really like it.
I love it.
We love it.
Yeah.
And since I split the bean and I didn't leave them whole, you can see all of that caviar that's left in there. So those that like to harvest the caviar for vanilla ice cream, custards, things like that, then they're like, aha, that's why you shouldn't split your beans, because you're just wasting all that caviar inside your extract. But for those of us that like to see the little speckles show up sometimes in our frostings, we love having the caviar left in the bottle. So it's 100% up to you what you want to do. So we've removed the beans. We're going to see if there's any questions.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And I will,
Now it's time to just pour the extract back in the bottle.
okay.
I'll let you do that. That's a cute little funnel that we use. It does a pretty good job, I think, with the bigger measuring glass. Well, you'll see. So using a funnel, we simply pour the extract back in the bottle. It'll be a little lower now because the alcohol will have been displaced by the beans. And we'll just fill it back up.
Where did you get that bottle?
Where did we get this? So we really try to not make this, all of the bottles, everything that you see here, you can purchase at VanillaPura.com. There's lots of good places that people post on, bottles and things like that. I mean, lots of shopping places will have them. There's lots of kitchen retailers that have them.
The ones you're posting online. They're so unique.
You guys totally.
That's half the fun, is finding a cute bottle, right? Like, you keep posting them and where you're finding them, because, it's fun to have your own unique bottle.
You could never have every single bottle that's made in the world, and bottles really is where your personality shines through. So shop around, find good ones. For us, function before form. It's a square bottle with a big open neck. We like it, and it fits well within our kitchen because we like to leave our extract out. We put it right next to the olive oil and the salt and pepper, because if it's here, we use it a lot more. The final thing, this is the other reason I like this bottle. is this right here. It's a pouring spout, and it's mostly used for olive oil. Well, if you have the right extraction bottle with an open lid, you can just push that in, and it comes with a little cap to close it off, and now I'm ready for use. And it's that simple. And then I take my cork, and we'll talk about corks in a minute, and we'll discard it, and I'll tell you why. But now it's ready for use. That's it. So now my bottle just transferred from being in my basement extracting for 18 months to now being in the kitchen next to the olive oil to replace that bottle that we just showed you that is almost gone. It'll probably be gone by the end of the week. It's almost sad to say goodbye.
I love these spouts. I mean, I love these spouts so much. Like,
we use the spouts for everything.
on everything.
So one of the
It just
challenges...
makes it easy to pour.
Totally.
So I really like the spout.
One of the challenges with the big open bottles is when you're actually trying to pour it onto a teaspoon, you can't. And so that's a problem. So now that I have the spout in, we are going to do the Shannon Adams taste testing method. So Shannon says with her extracts, she'll usually make like 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 different extracts. And when she does, she likes doing tastings like with her friends. So you have friends come over and she'll line up the shot glasses and you put like a number 1 and a number 2 and a number 3, and one of them might be a vodka, one of them might be a bourbon extract, or one of them might be Madagascar versus a Tahitian, so you can kind of get a sense of what the difference is. One of them might be a year-old versus an 18-month-old or versus a 9-month-old. All these different things that you can taste with your extract. So this is what you do. It's very simple. You take your shot glasses, okay, and you put in just a couple of drops at the bottom of each shot glass. Now with the pour, it's really easy to do. Whoop, a couple of drops and couple of drops.
Somebody wants to know how big this bottle is.
This is an 8-ounce bottle, a little bigger, 250 milliliters. So, and that's the other reason I like it. It's 8 ounces, this bottle size, 1 ounce of vanilla beans. So just really easy to use. Just pop it in, 1 ounce. Sits on the counter kind of nicely. It's not big and obnoxious. It's just kind of easy to use. So it's a great one to store. We have used these in the past. When we were first getting started, we would actually use these as kind of like a mini mother jar. And we would fill like our Christmas gifts that we gave out, even from these sometimes, because it was a nice just starting size. But then when we really got into it, we started using extract for like everything.
Then we got into it.
And then we're like, don't touch our jar, because that's mine. And just wait for Christmas, I'll give you yours, but back off. So, because we can go through this one now pretty quickly. Okay, so now we've poured in the extract, so what do we do?
1 to 3 tablespoons of milk. It's up to you how much you want.
So 1 to 3, so if, it just depends where you're at in your journey of extract tasting. If you're really new, you maybe want to water it down or milk it down a little more with more milk. If you're kind of used to it and kind of a seasoned extract maker, 1 tablespoon's probably enough. We're going to put what, 1 in each?
I'm going to put a little more.
A little more, like 1.5, 2?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. So now we've got a couple drops. We've got the milk. We're going to shake it around a little bit, just swirl it. We're not going to drink it yet. One of the big things here is that you've got to wait about 3 to 5 minutes to really let that extract sink into the milk. If you go too fast, it'll still be kind of separated and you'll get maybe a high concentration of extract and maybe just all milk. And so just let it sit, and we're going to wait 3 minutes. And while we're waiting, we wanted to talk to you. We're going to go back and talk to you about corks. So this bottle comes with a cork. I like corks. And I know, I've read all the posts and I've seen the pictures. Corks can deteriorate. I get it. I know that they can. The reason they put wine on the side is for cork health. You keep that cork healthy. And wine corks, when you have wine on the side, are there and they might sit for years, decades. And so even more so, it's important to keep them on their side to keep that cork healthy, okay? But for extract making, it's typically going to sit, I think our oldest extract was 3 years old. We had that Indonesian, it was a rum or a bourbon, and we had it for like 3 years. That's the oldest that we've ever had. When we pulled the cork off, it smelled wonderful. It was a healthy cork. It looked wonderful. We are pro cork. Now, it doesn't mean that everything that we use is cork. We don't have cork on these. We have plastic. We've got, so you don't have to use cork, but our experience is I've never seen a deteriorated cork in vanilla extract. So for those of you that have a bottle and you're worried because it is a cork, if it's a new cork, you're going to be just fine. And when we look at spirits like this Woodford Reserve, that is one of our favorite bourbons to use with the extract. This is I don't know how old the spirit is, but obviously the bottle's been around. It's a cork top. and it sits on its end. It doesn't sit sideways like wine does. And so, in our experience, corks, when I pull them out, it gives me something to smell, so I like having the smell. And I know it's silly, and I think that they're decorative, and I think they look nice. So if you have a cork, I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think you have to scramble to replace it if it's a new cork. Now, this cork now is 1.5 years old. I won't reuse it, because then I would worry that I've now opened it, maybe it's oxidized, and I'm putting it back in. I think the likelihood of deterioration is greater. But if it's a brand new cork, cork it. I like the cork. I like having the cork to just smell the extract, because it's a good hint that it's ready. So I'm a fan of corks, but this cork has served us well. Thank you, cork. Into the garbage. We will not use the cork anymore.
I think we can taste
Are we ready?
test it now.
Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. We are going to taste test our Madagascar bourbon
Cheers.
in milk. Cheers. Cheers to all of you. Let's see.
Did you just take it like a shot?
Maybe I did.
You're supposed to sip it.
That tastes absolutely wonderful. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
It's a sweet milk, and the vanilla just shines through. And then it's like, again, on the back of your palate, you get a little bit of that smokiness where you can sense like that bourbon coming out. And so that extract has done exactly what we wanted it to do. That is a wonderful extract. We're excited to put it to use. We'll start using it this week.
Well, and you can really get the flavor in this method in comparison to ours, just, licking our finger. You can really get the flavor with the milk.
You can.
You should try it. It
So-
really makes a difference.
Yeah, because it's simple. Vanilla extract is really highly concentrated. And so if you drink if you drink a snow cone syrup directly, right, it's going to taste really bitter because it's concentrated and you have to let it water out. So you need a medium to kind of let the extract do what it does. And we always tell everyone, this is actually an interesting point. We see people sometimes say, does it really make a difference? Since an entire recipe of like cookies calls for 1 teaspoon of extract. Does it really make a difference? So here's what we tell those someones when they do say it. We dare you to make your next batch of cookies without that 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and you tell us. And in every single case, it makes a difference. That's the reason that it calls for it. Then when you get familiar with all the different kinds of extracts, you can start enhancing them. So if it makes a difference to not have extract, it makes an equal difference to have great extracts or different flavored extracts with different spirits. And so when you put them in and you taste them, you'll see. And then what we started doing, anytime something calls for 1 teaspoon, we're putting in 2, right?
No, we always do.
3. And because we can keep it here and it's easy to pour and easy to access, it goes in the French toast. It goes in just about everything that we're making. Extract really makes a difference. Try the challenge. Don't use any extract the next time you make cookies, and you'll see for yourself. It's amazing.
Somebody wants to know where you get the spouts.
Oh, where do we get the spouts?
Yep,
you can find them online. Of course, they're on VanillaPura, but you can also find them online. Lots of places, cooking shops. It's this little. It's stainless steel, dishwasher safe. That's all important to us. We do reuse the spouts. So when one bottle's done, I'll just throw in the dishwasher, use it for another one. So they last for a really long time.
Oh, I see we have some Utah neighbors.
Hey!
We're so glad. Welcome.
When COVID's over, we need to have you here. We should fill our kitchen, right? And then it'll feel like a party. So, awesome. Very good. Anything else on tasting?
No.
Any other questions? Vanilla honey butter on French toast, says Mary. I've never heard of using milk to taste extract. Kool-Aid, we hadn't either. Shannon Adams is our hero for coming up with that.
Also, do we use our vanilla with proteins?
Oh, heavens, yes, absolutely. A bourbon vanilla on like a salmon glaze adds just a little kick of sweetness. It's incredible. You can use it on pork chops, typically like the white meats, a chicken marsala with a little bit of sweetness from the vanilla. All of those things are good. On like a red meat, like a steak, I don't know that we've even tried that because it just doesn't seem right. Maybe we need to try that and we'll have to report back. But on like the white meats and the fish, for sure, it's wonderful. Yep. Drinking, do you just use the vanilla for baking only or drinking like over ice?
Ice? You know what?
There are some days.
I don't think we've ever tried it, but
I love it.
try it and tell us what you think.
Okay, we're coming up here towards the end, so we've got to finish with our final topic today, and it is the topic of
Mother
the
jar.
mother jar. Everybody's talking about the mother jar, and what's a mother jar, and why do I need a mother jar, and do I have to start with a mother jar, and what is a mother jar all about? So here's our story with mother jars. There's 3 primary things that mother jars are great for, okay? And we'll talk about then the details of each. The first one is a mother jar is a great repository for your beans when they arrive. The mother jar is the safest place to store your beans, even if you're not going to use them for extract. If you're going to use them in a month for something else, you can put them in your mother jar, you can hold them in there, they're safe, they're not going to mold when they're inside the alcohol, and so you can just hold your beans, and when you're ready to pull them out, use it for something, you can use it for something. Second, mother jars are a repository for your old beans. So we just took the beans out of this extract. Now what do we do with them?
Yeah.
Those beans still have value, so we don't want to throw them out. In our experience, the value of the bean is about 50% of what it was at the beginning. Now that's not scientific. I'm sure that there is a study and there's maybe a scientific method to really go deep into it. But what we've seen is that we get about 50% of the value out of every bean once it's been extracted once. So what does that mean to you? It means you use your beans once to make your extract, ready to go. You take that 1 ounce of beans, put it in another 8-ounce bottle or put it in your mother jar. It's like having a 1/2 ounce of beans. So now when you make your next extract, you're already underway. And you can do it with half the amount of beans because you've got the old beans from your previous extract. So there's a value to them. Go ahead.
Well, and if you don't split your beans, you have a mother jar full of beans with caviar in them. And we did want to show you that. I
Yes.
kind of pulled one out of here. I think it's sticking up still. And I just wanted to show you.
We'll give you a close-up
Kind
here.
of cut the top off.
Let's.
And these have been soaking in the mother jar. And what you do is you just
Hold it up a little higher in front of the, there it is.
squeeze
So
it
you
out.
squeeze it like a ketchup, little like McDonald's ketchup packet, right? You
You
squeeze it.
see that coming out? That's all the caviar. I know that Mark Bagley puts it in his ice cream. He just takes it right out of his mother jar and puts it in ice cream. You can use it in all kinds of recipes.
That's the joy of a whole bean. So then you just cut the tip, and it's like the ketchup, and you just kind of squeeze it down. The caviar comes out, and then you've got this nice caviar. Put it in whatever it is you're baking. That's another great use.
So you've gotten the extract out of it, and now you can use the caviar.
So we started, let me give you the final reason that you create, well, we'll get into that in a minute. We started our first mother jar because of this, right? We had finished our first extract. We're like, what do we do with the beans? Let's put them somewhere. And it was teeny tiny. I mean, it wasn't like this and this. It's just grown because we have lots of beans around
We
our
have a lot of
home.
beans.
So ours has really gotten big, and it's grown over the last, it's been about 3.5 years in the making. And so it's gotten really big. There's a ton of different beans in here. We use vodka as the primary spirit, but this has Ugandan and Madagascar. I mean, I think everything's in there. I think everything's in there. And it tastes wonderful. It tastes absolutely wonderful. For us, you get a little bit of the floral from the tropical beans. You get the spicy from the Mexican. It's kind of this concoction that the world has never seen. And that's the third reason that you create a mother jar. I think it's safe to say that no 2 mother jars are the same.
Yep.
They're not. I mean, when Starlets is done, we could take the beans out of Starlets that now have a little bit of Mocha,
And coffee.
and we can still throw those into the mother jar, and it'll add this little hint to our overall mother jar that's the same. And then people say, so what do you do with all that extract? Like, oh my gosh, like what are we going to do with that?
I have plans.
Because we don't want to give away our Christmas gifts early, but we do. We give out a lot of Christmas gifts. We pour these into smaller bottles. Just use a funnel and pour them into smaller bottles. Sometimes you need a ladle to make it easy to get them out on a container that's this big.
And I always include beans in the little bottles too because it just looks nice.
It just looks nice.
You want them to know that it's pure and it's been made by just spirits and beans. But if you know me, you know that's what you're getting.
So here was a mistake we made with our mother jar. You know, now that we're 3.5 years into it, I don't remember every single bean that we put into it. There's no labeling on it. There's nothing. So
I just threw it in there and
right.
yeah.
I don't recall. And the smell of it is absolutely amazing. It tastes Oh my gosh. I mean, it's like nothing, it's like no other extract that we've had. So it smells amazing, it tastes amazing, and I don't know how to duplicate it if I ever wanted to duplicate it.
That's the sad part of it.
That's the sad part.
We weren't thinking ahead there.
We didn't know. I mean, it kind of grew and grew and grew. So you want to make sure that you document what's in your mother jar. So if you create something great, you can create it again. If you create something you don't like, you can avoid it again. But for us, the mother jar is a spectacular additional use of all of your vanilla beans. So,
well, and
go
someone
ahead.
asked, what spirit do we use? We used vodka in this. You can use any spirit you want. You can use the bourbon, the rum, the vodka. Most of the time, we have used vodka just so we can get the flavor of the beans out. I think we have seen a few posts where people have mixed their spirits. We have not done that yet. So if anybody has ever had a mother jar where they've mixed spirits or even have experience with their mother jars, please share it with our group so we can, learn even more.
Yep. So that's our experience with our mother jar. That's what they're for. But here's what we're going to do. Because we've learned so many things with mother jars and we are trying to get better every time we do it, we wanted to make a mother jar with all of you. And so we are going to start today a brand new mother jar. We've written here on our label, the free labels that we have on our website. We've got the date. We call it the mother jar. We're starting with Madagascar. We're going to be using vodka. And it was made by Making Vanilla Extracts by VanillaPura, the whole group with our 21,500 members. So we're going to start our brand new mother jar today. We know that we're going to have a lot of beans, so we're starting with this huge bar or bottle jar. Again, you could use a smaller one, like a 1 liter. If you don't think you're going to use that much.
Quart. Start with a quart.
No need to have something this big.
Yeah, we did not start huge like this. It's just evolved into our obsession.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and put in our first beans. We are going to pour in our Grey Goose vodka. We're using our tongs here just because we're touching so many things. We're trying to...
Whoops.
Whoop, one
I'm
got
just
away.
throwing beans all over the place.
There we go. And I'm just going to put in enough of the vodka to cover the top. So they're all submerged. That's it.
And that's how you start your mother jar.
That is the beginning of our mother jar. That's simple. So that is our first contribution to our brand new mother jar that we'll be starting with all of you. Some people will ask, do you need to use like a Grey Goose? You don't. Obviously a fine spirit is going to have the taste of the spirit in the final extract. But I mean on vodkas, geez, like the Costco vodka, which they don't sell here in Utah, but Costco vodka's big, Tito's is big. Lots of them are, you don't need to go top shelf on any of the spirits at all. We had a bourbon once. What was it called? It was a bottom shelf that we tried, and it did actually turn out bad. It was I think it was Black Crow bourbon, and it did not turn out well. So we have had an experience where like a bottom shelf spirit really did not turn out well. But for the most part, you can use a lot of them. You're smiling.
I'm sorry. I'm listening. I'm reading all of your comments, and they're funny.
My mother jar is named Bertha.
Bertha, that's from Michelle. England. Appropriately, I think.
Where do you find a jar that size, Therese? You can Google it, search for it. A 2 liter, 5 liter. They're out there. There's lots of canning, jarring places that have them. Walmart sometimes has them. Amazon will have them. So they're all over the place. Let's see. I missed the beginning, so I'll have to get back. Okay,
we haven't tried
Jan.
brandy yet.
No, we haven't.
But it is next on our list. We've heard really good things about it, actually.
We have. There's lots of really good reviews on brandy, and so we will be trying that. Hobby Lobbies, where someone gets their bottles, that's a great recommendation. We've seen lots of really cute ones come out of there. So that's it. So that...
Ooh, cognac.
Ooh, cognac. That would be a good one as well.
Yeah.
Again, it's the joy of extract. I mean, it's whatever you love, make it yours.
Yeah.
A mother jar is like a white canvas to a painter, right? You can just start with whatever, something simple, note it, and then just watch it grow and create something that the world has never seen. And that's what's so fun. And we talked about this last time. When you bake, you're not just baking. It represents you. It's a passion. It's something you like to do. And when people love what you make, it makes it even better. Now, when you actually are building the ingredients that are going in to whatever it is that you're baking, I think you get even that much more satisfaction out of it.
Well, and I think it's a lot of our love language, right? Like that's how we show that we love other people. We bake for them, or we give them vanilla. That's kind of how we do it.
That
know?
is.
It's a passion for us.
And my love language is eating what she bakes. Means I love you.
Aw, I love you too.
So let's end by giving away some free beans. How does that sound? Okay. So we hit 21,500 members yesterday. We're already at like 28,000. So we're gonna have to give away free beans here like tomorrow when we hit whatever the next 22,000. So our winner of 1 ounce of Madagascar vanilla beans for being part of our first 21,500 members is Lita Brusso. Lita! Congratulations, Lita! Lita joined our group in December 22nd, and you'll see the little coffee icon next to her name. Lita is a conversation starter. She has lots of great posts that have been very engaging that everyone likes watching. So, Lita, we'll put a post on Facebook. Shoot us an email at support@vanillapura.com, and we'll make sure that we get those beans out to you. As well as going back to the very beginning, it was Erica Fetzko. Send us an email, support@vanillapura.com. We'll get the free beans out to you as well, right away.
We are having just a few more questions that I do want to cover with our mother jar. Somebody wants to know, you're just putting a little bit of alcohol. Is that, how does that work? What's the process? So let's just back up a little bit. There are only a tiny little bit of beans in here, so we just need to submerge the beans. Cover the beans with the alcohol for now until we add a little bit more. Then we'll add a little more alcohol.
It will become this. This is what your habit is going to lead you to. This is what the new addiction leads you to. So it starts like that, and it becomes that. So as you add more beans, add more alcohol to fill it all the way up. Were there any other questions?
No, and I was thinking that I think we all should name our mother jars. I like the fact that Michelle named hers.
Yes.
So tell us what you're going to name your mother jars.
What about displacement by the beans in the 8 ounce? That is a great question. That does happen. So the beans will displace the alcohol. What does that mean? It means that if you had 8 ounces of alcohol and 1 ounce of beans and the beans displaced it, you might have a little less alcohol, which means you're just going to have a higher concentration of
vanilla.
extract. So
you could always pull a bean out if you're worried about that, but we just leave it in and have a little extra vanilla there.
yeah, like this bottle here, it's actually, I think if I recall, 8 ounces is about 240 milliliters. This bottle's 250, so it allows for a little displacement. This one here, this is an 8.5 ounce bottle. So most bottles, they typically account for a little displacement, but you know, if you don't put in all the alcohol and you have more beans, you're just going to have a sweeter extract. But you will have less extract as a result. Mm-hmm. If you're worried about that, you just got to go one size up on the bottle, get a bigger bottle. And again, just because your bottle is that big, it doesn't mean that you have to fill it. You can go halfway up. And so if you're worried about displacement or anything like that, you know, just fill it how you want to fill it.
Make sure you're just covering the beans.
That's it. I'm naming mine after our dog Maggie. Says, you have a dog named Maggie.
We have a dog Maggie.
We have a dog Maggie. She was like had a cameo in our last show. She's taking, our son is watching her right now. So it's a golden retriever. So Maggie is not part of this show this time. When do you add more alcohol to the mother jar? And when can you start using vanilla from the mother jar? So if you're always adding alcohol to it, that is a great question. So great point. Every time you add alcohol in, you have to kind of begin re-extracting. And that's why the taste test method that we taught you is so important when you're gauging whether or not you're ready to use it. Because it'll get all cloudy in your mind of, now, can I have this yet? Did I just add more spirits? Was that 6 months ago? Is the amount of spirit that I added more or less than what was already extracted? And is that going to dilute it so that I can't use it? That is a wonderful question. So that's why the Shannon Adams taste test method, or your own taste test method, some people use whipped cream to taste it. That's why it's so important, because if it tastes great, it's ready to be used. And you will kind of lose track sometimes as you're adding more beans and adding more alcohol. In our case, we haven't added beans to that one in a little while, months, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But, and someone else asked the question, how often do you clean the beans out? We clean that out about once a year. And we take out all the oldest beans that are really slimy, and we go ahead and discard them at that point. And so once a year, we'll clean our mother jar.
You can make sugar. You can
Yes.
dry them and make powder. There's still even more uses for
The empty pods.
For the empty pods, yeah.
Yeah.
We also have on our website under DIY extracting. There, go down to the drop menu. There's a whole section about mother jars there, and it will go through all of this. It's just really, that whole section of DIY extracting is super, super helpful.
Yep, created by many of you with your ideas and your feedback. So that's what we use it for. Kelly's mother jar is my mother jug is Mama's.
Mamas.
Starlet has an extract made with glycerin. I think that's a topic we'll use maybe in an upcoming show or party. We'll talk about glycerin.
Use alcohol, yes.
Yep, if you don't want to use alcohol, you use glycerin for sure. And the extract recipe using glycerin is in our extract making blog right now on VanillaPura, so you'll see it there. Just have a mother jar that is newer and a grandmother jar that is already the good stuff. So it's multi-generational. You're going to have a grandmother jar, a mother jar, and a great-grandmother jar. And, you know,
I love it.
Here they come.
Wonderful. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. It's just great.
So we love having you in our home. Thank you for sharing the last hour with us. We try to keep it to an hour or less. We're there. You guys are wonderful. Thanks for your feedback, your comments. Thanks for making our group kind.
Yes.
That really is what it's all about. The medium that does it is vanilla beans and extract, because you can't smell it without just, you know, getting the sweetness and smiling.
It makes you happy.
It makes you happy. So our group is just all about kindness. It's about learning new things together. It's about people that are experienced helping to teach people that are new. We're all about like trying to expand this world of extract makers and helping others learn how. And you guys know this, but you always remember your mentors. And when you have the opportunity to be a mentor, to help someone with a question, a safe place where someone can ask what they fear is a stupid question, and to have a senior person there that knows what they're doing, who comes in and says, that is a great question, let me help you with that. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
Kindness to strangers. And I think a lot of you have become friends, and we've certainly made a lot of great friends, and we're excited to make more great friends, and we're excited to hopefully do more things in person in the not too distant future when the world changes back to the way it was and we can all start getting together more often. So thank you for spending an hour of your Sunday with us. We really appreciate it. We love having all of you in our group. If we can ever do anything for you, send us an email, send us a message on Facebook, and we'd be happy to help. In the meantime, have a wonderful, happy, kind, and sweet day.
Yeah, happy extracting.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye.